It's been a long time since I've recorded a video because there hasn't been a whole lot of change, a whole lot of things going on in my life. I had honestly been in a stagnant kind of energy, just going through the motions and all these repetitive things were going on. But now there will be some pretty drastic change going on in my life. And while I won't get into the details just yet, maybe I'll go into those in the near future. Hold on. Let's set this timer. I just want to talk about something that I learned. What I learned may be something that you all already knew. But I want to say this as a reminder, as a refresher, as it pertains to life. For men, for women, for whoever needs to hear this. I was thinking of a quote that I'd heard, and I have no idea where I heard it from. But the hammer is only a piece of metal until it's placed in the hands of the craftsman. What we need to realize as human beings, as people, as we walk the face of this earth, pursuing goals, trying to make a living, pursuing relationships, trying to find connection, we need to realize that the greatest asset that we have is ourselves. What's in our heart and what's in our minds. If we can focus on developing that to its fullest potential, then we have to understand that everything else in the world that we consider valuable or important will come to us in due time. You see, I found myself over the past year or two stressing over maintaining a tool that helped me earn my livelihood, trying to keep this thing in tip-top condition. But the tool has shown some weaknesses that would make me believe that it's not up to the task of getting me to where I want to go. And I've got to realize that. I've got to prepare myself to say the tough goodbyes. You see, I was putting the tool ahead of the asset. The asset being myself, being my mind, my ambitions, my goals, my discipline that I would put into my craft. That was secondary to making sure that the tool survived. But in trying to keep the tool afloat and keeping that up to the task of completing the mission, I almost lost myself in the process. So if you don't hear anything else out of this video, I want you to remember that you are the most important asset that you'll ever have. You need to make sure that you keep your mind and heart pure and protect it and not allow the outside world to damage what's inside. Because if the outside world ever gets to the point where they make you feel less than based on some circumstances that are outside, completely outside of your control, then that's a dangerous space to be in. I'm looking forward to resetting and trying to achieve this goal of mine from a different angle. A lot of people may look at it as a failure, and I somewhat struggle with that as well. I do feel like I failed in this moment, but I also feel like I've learned and I've experienced and I've got a story potentially that may help out quite a few people. Sometimes the most damage that you can do in any situation is not knowing when to let go. And so for me, over the last week, I've had to learn to let go of some things that I've worked hard for some things that I've invested a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of time into. But ultimately, what I invested in is something that's not going to represent me in my best, highest version of myself, the way I see myself, that is. So I'm not so much upset. This isn't a video of mourning. This is a video that kicks off new potentials, kicks off new beginnings. And overall, despite the fact that I have gone through my frustrations, I'm excited in this moment. And eventually, I'll be able to give more details on what's currently happening, because I'll have more time to give more details. Right now, I'm just sitting in the aftermath of what's been happening and looking forward to the future. And to be honest, I haven't looked forward to the future in a long time. In fact, I've kind of looked towards the future with a little bit of dread because of what I knew I was facing. And had I leaned on my own understanding and went the path and followed the plan as I had laid it out originally, I don't know if I would have made it to the finish line with my sanity intact. So now that I've protected my mind, I'm excited about what comes next. But with that being said, just remember that the craftsman is more important than the tool. You see, the craftsman can pick up any tool to get the job done, but that tool is just a piece of metal or whatever material it's made out of until it gets in the hands of the right craftsman. So place that priority on yourself. Protect your own being and don't worry about the tools, because they can come and go. Don't worry about the money, because it will come and go. And even in some cases, relationships, because they also will come and go. But that's my video for today. I want to get back into the groove of recording these videos, and so you should see these a lot more often.